everybody. Did you know that the studio at Gallery North is an earth-friendly studio space? It means we think about Mother Nature for many of the programs we offer and the lessons we teach. And in an effort to continue teaching our community how to be earth-friendly when creating, we're going to offer some lessons in the next few weeks using some recycled materials. So, I want to make sure that you're collecting some things while you're at home. First, those toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls, hold on to them. We're going to use them for an upcoming project. As well as your tissue boxes of any shape and size. They're great for projects, but we have something special coming up. So hold on to your tissue boxes. And lastly, let's not forget one of our favorite things to use here in the studio, cardboard. We use it for prototype building, cardboard building. We love making here in the studio, especially with kiddos, and cardboard is so wonderful for doing that. So, hold on to that cardboard for some upcoming projects. Hello everybody, welcome back to Art Ventures at Home. I'm Mrs. Grass with your daily dose of art. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today and for following along with our lessons. Happy Monday. Don't forget to share what you've been making with us on social media so that we can give you a shout out. Speaking of shout outs, I have to say hello to Sydney and Joey for following along with our lessons. Hey guys, you're doing an awesome job. And Gail for following along. She supports us. We love her. Thank you, Gail. And Jenny. Jenny, you're doing such a great job. I loved your drawing of Stompy. Thank you for sharing and thank you for following us. Today's lesson is all about origami. Origami is the art of folding paper. And some of you may know some origami moves. Today, I'm going to show you a few simple tricks so that you can make some origami at home. And did you know that the art of folding and cutting paper is called kirigami? And if you've ever made a snowflake in the wintertime and folded paper and cut it up and opened it up to find that this beautiful snowflake was there, you've done kirigami. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a Yoda and a Pikachu. Here is what you're going to need to make your origami pieces today. The first thing you're going to need is paper. If you happen to be lucky enough to have some origami paper at home, it's going to look something like this. When you create something in origami, it typically starts with a square sheet of paper. So this is some origami paper that we keep all the time in the studio. We love creating origami with the kiddos during Art Ventures and during our summer programs. So I am lucky enough to have some colorful origami paper here, but if you don't have origami paper, no worries. You can take your standard printer paper and turn it into a sheet of origami paper. And if it's not colored and you want it to be colored, you can always color one side of it with a crayon or a marker first before you fold it. And I will show you how to make a sheet of your printer paper into a piece of origami paper when we get started. The second thing you're going to need is markers. Markers are going to help you turn your beautiful origami pieces into Yoda and into Pikachu. If you add a few details with markers, you can create a face and turn your origami piece into a unique character. If you don't have markers, no worries. Use a pencil or a colored pencil or some crayons today. Once you have all that stuff, you're ready to go. All right, everybody, I have all the supplies I need. I have my origami paper and my markers ready. Before we start, I want to show you how you can turn a piece of scrap paper or computer paper into a sheet of origami paper. Basically, you have to take this rectangle and turn it into a square. When you're creating origami, it should be a square-shaped piece of paper. So in order to turn a rectangled piece of paper into a square, all you need to do is take one corner of that piece of paper and fold it over, lining it up with one side of the piece of paper, and then folding it like this. And when it's folded, you could take a scissor and cut along the edge, removing a portion of the paper. I don't need this, okay? So that when I open it, it's a square. Okay, see that? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. In fact, you know what? I'll use this piece for the first thing I'm going to show you. Before we go into the Pikachu and into the Yoda, I want to show you how to create a dog and a cat, because those two very simple origami folds are the beginnings of a Pikachu and a Yoda. So the way I make a dog, and I'll show you a finished one here. Here's my finished dog. Okay. I'll turn it this way. Here he is. Okay. The way I do the dog is I take two corners of my paper and I make them kiss, and that means I fold it in half like a triangle. There they go. And then I fold the crease really well. If I have a sharp fingernail, I can rub my fingernail along that fold. If I don't, I can take something like a marker or a pencil, and I can use the edge of that to make the fold nice and strong. Okay. Then when I have this triangle, I'm going to make the ears of my dog, and I'm going to do that by folding one corner of my triangle up and then going to the other side and folding that triangle up. And I could turn it around and you can see I already have my doggy's ears, and now I have to fold the bottom of my dog backwards a little bit so that I can make the chin of my dog. You can see this was just using a piece of scrap paper from the printer. All right, and when you're all done folding, then you can decorate it a little, add those details to make it look more like a dog. You can add eyes however you want. You can add a nose and a mouth, freckles and spots. You can see I took a little time to create Spot the dog here. All right. So that's the dog. And all we did was 4 folds to make a dog. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, next. Meow, 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 meow. I want to show you how to make a cat. And the cat is pretty much the same thing as the dog, except we flip it around a little differently. And you can see I have already decorated my little yellow cat here. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. When you want to start your origami, I want you to always put your paper with the color face down. If you start folding with the color up, the color won't show when you're folding your piece. So always start with the color side down. Okay, that's something we didn't see when we used our scrap paper because the scrap paper was all one color. My color side's down, and I'm going to start the same way I started with my doggy, and that's corners kiss. So I'm going to take 2 corners of my green origami paper, and I'm going to make them touch, and then I'm going to fold my crease down. I have a tip for you here. Always fold on the table. If you try to fold paper up in the air, it's going to move, it's going to shift, it's not going to do what you want it to do. You have more control when your paper is sitting down on a tabletop. So always fold on the tabletop, and don't forget you can grab a marker, a pencil, or something smooth that you can really crease that paper with so it stays down. You know, paper has a memory. It always wants to unfold or uncurl or remember that it's curled and stay curled. So if you press it really, really hard, it'll stay down. Okay, so I have my triangle, and I'm going to do the same thing I did for my dog. I'm going to take one corner and put it up, making sure that a part of it is sticking up beyond the top of my triangle. And I'm going to take another corner and I'm going to fold it up. Okay. And that's where we found our dog. If we flipped it like this, it became a dog. But if you flip it over, it's a cat. And the only thing you need to do is take the top of your cat by its ears and fold it backwards a little. Fold it backwards like that. And then you have a cat. There it is. Easy peasy. And then you can decorate it. Maybe your cat is feeling kind of evil today. Maybe he's seen a predator outside and he's being protective. Maybe he's got lots of hair. Maybe you're going to turn it into a werewolf. That's up to you. But you can design it however you like with those extra details with your drawing tools. So there's the cat. Meow, 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 meow. Pika, Pika. Everyone, it's Pikachu time. I'm going to show you how you can take the same sort of folds that we used for the dog and the cat to make a Pikachu. Everybody loves Pikachu. I mean, here in my house, Pikachu's all over the place. We love Pokemon. So the first thing I'm going to start with is my square. I chose yellow, of course. If you don't have a yellow sheet of paper, remember you can always color a plain white one. One side has to be yellow. You don't have to color both sides. So you can color it yellow first, or when you're done folding, you can color it yellow after. That's up to you. And who knows, maybe you want to make an orange Pikachu or a green Pikachu. You know, have fun creating your little origamis. So this is how we get started to make Pikachu. Remember, color side down. We always start with our colored side down so that our color shows when we start to fold. And we're going to start with corners kiss again. And we're going to take two corners of our origami and we're going to fold one to the other. They're in love. They need to smooch. There we go. I'm going to hold my finger there and then drag my other finger down to fold my edge. So I wind up with a triangle, and I'm going to remember that I really want the crease to stay down really nice and strong. So I'm going to take my fingernail or a pencil or a marker and rub that just like that so it stays down. Next, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Before, when we did the dog and the cat, we automatically folded our corners up. Before we do that fold, though, we're going to take the bottom of our triangle and we're going to fold it up just a little bit. Enough that it sort of looks like a little sailboat or a sailor's hat. Okay? Folded it up just a little bit. Okay? And now I'm going to fold my corners up towards the top of my triangle. And I'm going to fold one up first. And you see this line here? This line needs to line up and connect with the top of our triangle. Just like that. I bet you can tell that that's going to become Pikachu's ears. So I've done it on one side. Now I'm going to do it to the other. I'm folding up, making sure that this part lines right up with the top of the triangle. See how they line up? Just like that. Okay. And now the last step is I'm going to take the top of this triangle and I'm going to fold it down. See how hard it is for me to fold up in the air? Remember, always fold with your paper down on the table. It'll make it much easier for you. Origami can be pretty frustrating, but if you remember to keep your folding to the tabletop, stay on your surface, it'll be easier for you. Okay, so I folded that down. Now if I flip it over, I'll have a Pika. Pika, Pika. You can make Pikachu's cheeks less pointy if you want and fold the corners back, or you can leave them out stretched so they're pointy. It's up to you. And then I'm going to have fun Decorating my Pika, I need a red and a black to decorate Pikachu. Remember the top of his ears, the tips are black, so I'm going to color that in. 1 and 2. You know, making origami for friends and family is a lot of fun. And if you have someone that's not in the house with you, you miss grandma or grandpa or a best friend, maybe you want to make them some origami and send it to them in the mail. They'd love to see how creative you've been at home. For Pikachu's eyes, I made 2 circles, and then inside those circles, I make 2 small circles, like that. And I'm going to color all around those smaller circles so that those little circles sort of look like highlights in Pikachu's eyes. So if I color right around them, I'll get a cute little eyeball look. Okay, and then I'm going to give him his little nose and his little bumpy mouth. And then, of course, Pikachu's got nice rosy cheeks. So I'm going to give Pikachu 2 big circles, just like that. And there's my Pika. Pika, 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 I choose you. Woo! Good job, Pikachu. It's Yoda time. This is the last fold I'm going to show you today. It's the most complicated of the 4 folds I'm sharing, but it all starts the very same way we start our cat and our dog, which are the easy peasy lemon squeezy folds. So I'm going to start off with a piece of green origami paper. If you don't have a piece of green origami paper, you can take your scrap printer paper. You can fold it over. You can trim the edge. Get rid of this. Oop, out of here. And you could take a crayon or a marker, and you can color the whole sheet green so that you can have a green Yoda. So no worries if you don't have origami paper, you can make your own, okay? No worries. So colored side down, we always start with our color down so our color shows up when we're making our creature or our character. I'm going to start the same way I started with the last 3, and that's corners kiss. I'm going to fold one corner to the other. Best I can, line them up, hold it down with one finger, and then slide my finger across the edge so that it stays down nice. And then I'm going to do something we haven't done yet. I'm going to open it back up, and then I'm going to make corners kiss on the opposite side. So corners that haven't kissed yet are going to kiss. And the reason I'm doing that is so that you can see that there's these lines in the paper for me. They're going to be guidelines for me. The more complicated the origami is, the more you're going to do stuff like this. Fold and unfold and fold in a different direction so that you can have creases and guidelines as you move forward on more complicated folds. So I've folded it corners kiss twice, but I'm going to, the second time I do corners kiss, I'm going to leave it in a triangle. Okay. And I'm going to take the top of my triangle now, and I'm going to, you can see there's a line right down the middle of this. It's my guideline. This is going to be the middle for me, so I know to stay centered. I'm going to take the top of my triangle and make sure it touches the bottom of my straight line, just like that. Okay, so I have something that looks like this. And now I'm going to take, you could see this can be opened up a little. There's 2 triangles here. I'm going to take the top one and I'm going to fold it up so that the top of it sticks out just a little bit. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to fold that down. So I have something that looks like this. All right. Now I'm going to take the corners of my triangle and I'm going to fold them up, kind of like how we did for our cat and our dog and our Pikachu. Okay, so I'm going to fold one side up and I'm going to make sure the edge of this lines up with that center line. I want to make sure they line up so that it becomes symmetrical, the same on both sides. I'm going to do that here, and I'm going to do that here. Now those folds have kind of hidden all the folds I've made already. Looks like I have a little square, right? But I'm going to make this even smaller by folding a little bit more. And I'm going to take the edge of the top of this side of my square, my diamond, and I'm going to line it up with the center line here. You can see there's a line going down this, cutting it in half. I'm going to turn this way so they line up together. This can be a frustrating fold, okay? Trying to get a flat side to line up with another flat side. Take your time. If you get frustrated, ask someone for help. If you're still frustrated, take a little walk and shake it off and come back and try again. The first time you make this Yoda, it's not going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. Practice makes better. So the more times you practice it, the better you're going to get. Okay, so I did the same thing on the other side. Okay, I took this and I folded it like that. Now I have a sort of kite shape. Okay. I'm going to take these top two pointy pieces and I'm going to fold them straight down. 1 and 2, just like that. And now I'm going to fold them out, so I kind of twist them out. And I twist out. And I bet you can tell those are going to become Yoda's ears. There's one more fold, and then we're done. And that's here at the bottom. I'm going to fold that back the same way we did for Pikachu and the cat and the dog. I folded it back just a little. If it's not staying folded, you can get something to rub it down with, okay, so that it stays. But when I flip it over, I'll have a Yoda. You could turn this into Baby Yoda or Old Wise Yoda. I could show you how I drew mine. Old Wise Yoda's got a very wrinkly forehead, so I added some wrinkles at the top. And then I gave him very wise looking eyes. And then he's got quite a big nose, bend down like this and across like this. There's my Yoda. Do or do not, there is no try. Yoda! Well, everyone, I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of Art Ventures at Home. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about origami. I hope that you practice throughout the week and create origami pieces for your friends and family. Don't forget to share what you've made with us on social media. On Facebook, we're Gallery North. On Instagram, we're at Gallery North LI. And don't forget, you can rewatch these episodes on our website, gallerynorth.org, and on our YouTube channel called Gallery North. And don't forget to share these episodes with your friends and family. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I can't wait to see what you've created. Until tomorrow, have a great day. Bye.